Good evening, race fans, and welcome to BSTV. I've just clicked the wrong buttons, but we are at Oulton Park Circuit for
Yay!
get in for season 12, rounds 21 and 22, also known as the penultimate race week of season 12. There's a lot to fight for. We'll cover that in a second. We've got a 19-degree track, so it's going to be as fast as you like. That's about premium for racing these cars. And yes, it's the TCR Challenge. I'm Pete Bingham, and I'm joined by Sir Alan of Toon, as always. Good evening, Sir Alan.
Good evening, Pete. Good evening, everybody. My
Yeah.
pleasure to be here and very excited because I love this place.
Yeah, welcome to Tarpley in Cheshire, not too far from where I grew up. And yeah, very iconic BTCC and bike track, obviously. They all go there. It's a wonderful track. We'll jump on board with someone, I'm sure, before we get going. We are into qualifying already, and Spencer, who I should point out, needs to be hated because he turned up quite late in the practice session and is already putting pole laps in. He's topping the charts at the moment, provisional pole. But let me talk you and first of all, your thoughts and feelings, Alan, about Oulton Park.
Yes, well, that's easy because it's one of my very favourite tracks, in my top 5 favourite places to be. It's like Donington. I just like being here. It doesn't matter what the car is. There's something about this place that makes it so enjoyable to drive. I don't know whether it's the gradients, the corners, the combination of all of them, the flow of it. There's something for everybody here. For me, it's I always have a great time here. We have incredibly close racing.
Yeah, you don't get too many tracks with the levels of undulation that you get at Oulton Park. Some of these dips and climbs are quite pronounced, and whilst it doesn't necessarily look like it there, Deer Leap it really is quite a leap. It's a massive hill to walk up, let alone drive up. Let's go through the standings. So Sambly's, let me go through Gary's standings. They're a bit more accurate with the way that we're working points out. That's not the one I wanted. This is the one I wanted. So Sambly's is our championship leader at the moment, but he doesn't lead by very much. Gary Craig, he had a great week last week. Hopefully, because he's my teammate or ex-teammate, whatever. Hopefully he can replicate that this week. He is only, 59 points, I'm going to go with, behind Sambly's. Nothing at all, really. And close on his heels is Spencer McCarthy, who I've already mentioned. Wobbly is another 31 points behind Spencer. So over the top 4, Alan, there is only 95 points. Is that right? Yeah, 95 points, which is less than a race win if somebody else doesn't turn up for a race, etc., etc. I think this one's going to go to the wire this year.
There's no calling it, is there?
No.
We can't call that, and really, we don't know what's going to happen here. I'm just looking at the time that Spencer done, but Wobbly, there's fractions in this. Look at that, hundredths of seconds.
Yeah, hundredths, yeah. It's going to be a great one, this. In terms of the team standings, BSTV, Gary's team, that's Gary and JB, they are top of the pile, believe it or not, despite Geodesic doing so well. There's a lot of negative points for off-tracks on the Geodesic side of the fence. They are leading by 1,544 points to 1,501 for Geodesic. And then Safeguard in third last week. They mopped up, Alan, and got that third position. 1,107. And they bumped Geodesic Racing White, which is Sambly's, and Spectre 6, the number, down a position each. So that one is getting tasty as well. Only 33 points separates the top 2. And only 30, there's a few hundred actually between first and third, so it's really between BSTV Esports and Geodesic Racing. And then the much coveted, the top prize in all of motorsport, which is the TCR Challenge Driver of the Meeting Award, which we vote for, so it's clearly the best one. Jamie Jeffrey and David Johansson are sharing top spot at the moment with 3 votes each, so chances are we're going to have to split them up unless somebody else comes steaming through the field, pardon the pun, and takes the top spot away from them. Jamie Wilson, Gary Craig, Spencer McCarthy and Tony Yates all share second place jointly, or third place if you want to be pernickety about it, on 2 points, and then there's a whole raft of people on one because we've got such talent in here. They all end up featuring at some point in the standings. So that's a quick run through that. Let's jump on board, Alan.
Very interesting, Pete. It's our leaders in the drivers thing are both new to the league.
Yes, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, Jamie Jeffrey has driven with us previously in other series, but to this league he is new. Yeah, absolutely, and that is interesting. It shows that new blood and a new approach can often show great talent and stand out from the crowd. So we encourage more people to come and join us and race with us. Let's see what's going on. Let's jump on board with Spencer. This is notorious for going wrong. Up and over Daly, and then across the stripe here for a lap. We instantly go into Old Hall, very iconic corner. Take us quite a bit of curb there, not as much on the outside. We'll get an off track down through the avenue and into Cascades, another famous corner. Third gear or fourth gear, left-hander third in this particular car, the Veloster, and then streak it down here. We don't use the Foster chicane on this one. Past Lakeside, into Island Bend, which is this turn here. Come off the gas, stick it on the inside, then get back on the gas a little bit into what they used to call the International Hairpin, I think it was, International Horseshoe, one of those two things, and then head towards Fulston's, which we don't use on here. It's the little chicane that you're about to pass now. This is all gas, all the way up over Hilltop, which is obviously this bit. Why would it be called anything else? And in the distance there you can see Knickerbrook. Funny story to tell you after the race. Remind me about that, Alan, if you've never heard how they named that. Get lots of curb on the inside, drop a couple of gears, back on the gas, and then up the gears, up and over Clay Hill, and you got Druids, which is this sequence really. It's not really a corner, it's that plus this, and then this is a double right-hander here before you go under. I can't remember what this is called, bridge or something like that. And then is he running out of fuel on this one? He's going into the Lodge corner here. Second gear, a bit of curb, not too much because it punts you out wide, and then yeah, he's run out of fuel, so he's going to pit that car. But we did get a lap in, which is always good. So thank you, Spencer, for staying with us for all of that, even though you were coughing at the end. He was probably doing a practice pit run, I'm not sure. But we are in qualifying, and he is second now to this man, Stephen Walker.
Yes, look at the times.
Times are obscene, aren't they? It's good even being a passenger on a car in this simulator service going round here. It's just an exceptional track, and I
love this space.
Yeah,
it's driving around is awesome. It really demands of you. It took me a long while to get around there and feel comfortable in the place. You have to work for it.
It's a technical challenge, isn't it? It's really quite difficult. Okay, let's go to the grid then. Let me find a camera which will do us something decent.
Nice to see Lee in 11. That's lovely.
It is, yeah. It's a very good position. It's his second race week with us. Stephen Walker will be your poleman tonight for Spectre 6, the number. Spencer McCarthy goes off second for Geodesic Racing, and for Geodesic Racing White, different team, Sam Blees, last season's champion and the current championship leader, goes off third. Wobbly Kneecaps fulfills the second row for Impulse Racing. The word traitor isn't in his name there, but he is. Gary Craig goes off fifth, BSTV. David Johansson sixth for Sim Racing Grid Hyundai. Adam Wright off seventh, BSTV Esports Pink. Eighth will be Jamie Wilson, Team Chimera. Ninth will be Jamie Jeffrey, CCR. And 10th will be Stefan Goebel for VTS Esports. And then I'll rattle through the rest. 11th will be Lee Bowden. 12th will be Matt Elmore. 13th will be Carl Hardy. 14th, why didn't that work? Because I pressed the wrong thing, that's why. 14th will be JB. Tony Walker goes off 15th. 16th will be Ant Woodward. 17th even will be David Ayres. Matt Flannery will go off 18th. And Fiona Siddons will go off 19th. Right, we've got a couple of cars that we're waiting for. Not too many though, which is good. And we're all set for this. This is
Oh, I'm
19
excited, Pete.
cars. 19
I'm
cars.
excited.
Yeah, it's going to look like a busy track because it's not very wide. This is they put bikes on it a lot, don't they? So not too many easy overtakes here, is there?
No, and you know, these guys can make their cars extremely wide.
Oh, without a doubt. We're going to
So
focus on
they're going to have
third
to
row.
fight for everything.
Yeah, lights are coming on. 3, 4, 5. Held for just a second and then let go. It looks like Spencer got a good run on Stephen and Samblees. Look at Samblees going that Audi.
Oh, what a start.
Stevens kept it on the bumper of Spencer though. That'll be good for him because he'll be able to hold that corner. Bit of tussling further back here with David Johansson.
Gary's right in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's Adam just ahead now. And David Johansson's getting muscled out by Jamie Wilson.
I think he's just tucked in behind him. David's just held on. Goodness me.
Yeah. Stefan under pressure from Jamie Jeffrey just there. With Matt Elmore, flashy Elmore, closing in. Something's happened to Lee. He's ended up at the back, not sure what. It might be the launch. Oh no, he went off track. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So Adam putting pressure on his own teammate or sister team. Wobbly flashing his lights. You can quit that right now. Sam Blee's looking proper racy going into Knickerbrook.
And was very racy last week, wasn't he? Him and Spencer were right elbows out, having a lot of fun with each other.
There was a bit of door banging as well.
There was, yeah. And Sam did say in the interviews that he was feeling particularly rumbustious. So
yeah. Oh, Sam off the track.
Ooh.
That's a good one though. That's a 1X. Probably not even a slowdown. Just a bit embarrassing.
No, and going down that hill, you know, it's dead easy to get your braking wrong. People aren't used to driving on these kinds of gradients, and it really can catch you out, especially when you're in tight company.
Yeah, so over the stripe for the first time, Spencer has wrestled the first lap honours, if you will, over Stephen Walker, and then Sam Blees, then Wobbly, and then Gary Craig. So all the top racers in the standings. At the top of the field, we reverse top 8, folks. Don't forget, that is currently held by Jamie Wilson.
It's almost a given that Jamie's going to be in the top 8 at this stage.
Yeah.
And then he's going to lose one place and be 9th and get pegged back in the reverse. I don't want to put a curse on you though, so I'm just hoping this week it turns out differently.
Yeah, Matt Flannery moving forward very quickly. 3 places he's made up, including that one that was gifted by Lee Bowden. On lap 1. Up and over hilltop again.
Well, I think he must have had a bit of a problem with his qualifying because I think, you know, Matt is a good driver and
he is, yeah.
Probably just a bit low down on the grid. That maybe he just had a struggle with qualifying because he seemed a bit out of place to me.
Yeah, this is a bit crowded round here. This is Jamie. I'll put some other graphics up. Just give me a sec. I'll put the battle box up and I'll put the track map up. That should come up now. I've done a lap. You can see how close the field is on the track map. But yeah, this is Jamie, Jeffrey, Stefan, Matt Elmore, Carl Hardy, JB Dejoux, and Matt Elmore and Stefan getting racy together.
These guys have been racing together for years, haven't
they?
They know each other. They know each other's driving inside out. And look, you know, you've got to have a lot of trust and confidence in the guys around you if you're going to race that close, especially on a tight circuit like this.
Yeah, and Stefan had to get into the back there of Carl. Carl just slammed the door shut, and I think if Stefan had come out of the gas, he'd have run off track, like severely off track. He's gone wide there at Cascades anyway, and JB's got one over on him. Further forward, Gary Craig has had to give best to Adam Wright, who is super fast at the minute, and chasing down Wobbly. That 10 quid is still up for nerfing Wobbly, so not that I'm suggesting for a second that anybody should take me up on that offer, but it's there. As Stefan decides I'm not having any of that, and that's a good look. Was it Stefan? No. I'm looking at the wrong little battle here, I think. Ignore me.
Well, I think all the battles are good. By the looks of it, it's, you know, look at this.
very industrious, I'd say. So
there's not a lot of room, is there? They're tight together, and any kind of a small error is going to be carnage.
yeah, and interestingly, at the front here, of the three S's, it's Spencer and Stephen that have got themselves a gap and are streaking away from the rest of the field, leaving wobbly Adam and Gary to squabble over best of the rest for now. A gap to David Johansson is slowly growing, and then he's going to be in no man's land in a minute, with Jamie Wilson chasing him, and then the start of this battle train that Sam Blease is now in. So this is why Sam Blease is no longer part of the top three. He's no longer part of Triple S because of this. So we're heading into Cascades, and that's a crossed over Audi. And away he goes. Now, funny that, Stefan, also in an Audi, did exactly the same thing on exactly the same lap, or nearly did exactly the same thing. Sam did a much better job of getting further out onto the grass.
Surprised to see somebody of experience getting caught out like that, but it looked like he's caught a right old lurch there.
Well,
so.
Proves he's human, right?
Barely.
Barely.
Not when he's in a car.
So these
but
three...
yes.
Whoa.
But, he's going to catch up, and he might drag these guys with him.
He's currently holding 8th place, actually, Sam Blease, as we watch Matt Elmore and Carl Hardy getting very racy together. Both of them trying to get on terms with Jamie Jeffrey in front.
These guys are all close in pace, and they're going to be fiercely battling. This won't stop. This is 20 minutes of flat out, eyeballs out, full on racing, and they won't slow down or stop.
No.
So we can expect these intense little battles between the drivers. They're so confident in each other's driving, they're prepared to take risks and drive side by side and right close to each other.
Oh, JB! Oh, did you see JB crossed up there? He's lost the position to Stefan. He's about to get mugged as well by Tony Walker. His car was fully sideways.
He's right on the edge, Pete, isn't he? He's actually trying to keep up with these guys. Look at the pace of these chaps around him.
Yeah, look at the battle behind
right
as well.
On it. I know.
I mean, this is for the lower order, so 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th is what you're looking at here. But they're still fighting like they're on for a race win. This is brilliant to see.
Yeah, it really is.
Need to move forward here to look at Matt Elmore. Jamie Jeffrey getting defensive into Knickerbrook. That's going to put him well offline and maybe off track, not quite off track. Oh, and Matt Elmore's alongside. Oh.
I just wonder if Jamie knows this track as well as the others do.
I think he probably does. He races, I think, BMWs in real life on these tracks, so I think back of his hand is the descriptor for this one, maybe. As Matt Elmore gets down the inside again, Carl Hardy gets a full face of purple Veloster. Oh, and Stephen Walker wrestles the fastest lap away from Spencer McCarthy now.
James doing so well to keep Matt and Carl behind him.
Yeah.
But look at these three. They're like hungry sharks.
Aren't they? You could cover them all with a very small Rizzler paper right now. Yeah, so Jamie trying to break the toe, knows he needs to keep it as bolted as far to the right there to get a really good line, and he's got a good line through Island and then into the Horseshoe. Oh, he's lost a lot of ground in the Horseshoe though. Look at Matt Elmore now.
He's got the run.
Yeah, doesn't need to be asked twice.
This is a good place to get it as well.
It is. He's going to block him out at Knickerbrook here. If that Veloster is at least as pacey as the Elantra, and it looks to be.
He's got the line as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's a done deal. And then the
That was a smart piece of driving, but you can't afford to make him the smallest error.
No, and that's Carl next in line here. Jamie's gone defensive. That's not going to work for him, I don't think, because Carl should get a run under bridge.
Crikey.
Yeah. Squabbling a bit. Round the outside doesn't work at Lodge.
Wow, this is full on. You don't see anything closer than this because honestly, they're in each other's cars.
Yeah.
They're shouting through the windows at each other. You can hear it.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Oh, that's amazing. And Stefan's getting a sniff of this as well now. Is he going to follow Carl through Cascades? Jamie's out of shape, and is he wide? No, he's caught that. That's great driving. Great driving from Jamie Jeffrey. I think there was contact. And here comes JB. He's getting steamed here because that's Tony Walker through as well. So Jamie Jeffrey muscled out on that occasion, I'm afraid. We'll move forward and see. Sam Blease has caught Jamie Wilson.
Yeah. Well, Jamie's no easy pass, but Sam is extraordinary overtaker.
That Audi seems to be super quick out of the blocks. I don't know whether
in a straight line. It's incredible, isn't it? Everybody says it's got amazing lift, and it's worth a second on the straight, maybe.
Yeah, and we saw it at Daytona. This format of this track is another super speed track, so because all the chicanes are removed. It's very much a feast of speed.
It took me years to manage that chicane up the hill.
Yes. It's a difficult one.
Once I mastered it all, it was one of those eureka moments when you find the line.
Yeah. And the pace and the speed you can carry through it. Yeah. Absolutely. So these are your leaders. Spencer McCarthy leading the race. Stephen Walker with the fastest lap of the race in his slipstream.
He's heading to a 32, isn't he?
It is, as Jamie Jeffrey wants some of those positions back. And into Cascades alongside another Elantra of JB. He might make this work if he doesn't drift out too far. Yeah, he's done that.
It's tight, and you need skill to get past.
Around the outside, absolutely. You've got to have guts, let's say. Brave boys do that. And girls, of course.
Confident in his pace, confidence in his ability. And that's really what you need. Oh, wobbles. If you get a wheel on the grass, it's not good news.
No, it isn't.
The least you're going to lose is a bit of time.
Yeah.
Wobbly's getting... I think Wobbly's closing the gap, isn't he, slightly here? And Stephen and Spencer.
Let's have a look. His last lap was faster than both of them. Yes, your eyes are good. Your eyes are good. We'll have a look back to here, because this is tasty. David Ayres. Oh, Matt Flannery. He's taken the extra route. Oh, and that's expensive.
Was that the fence?
That was the tyres, yeah.
Grown.
I think there was...
Yes, I saw a bit of car on the deck.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a bit of contact. Let's look at it again here. Well, just there, a little bit of a squeeze.
Just when the tree was there.
Yeah, and then a bit of a shove. Got a face full of Elantra, and that's how that happened.
Oh dear.
So
David will feel bad about that, and everybody's going to feel bad about that, and the mountain's going to feel bad about it.
Yeah, and
unfortunate, very unfortunate. See, and it's a 20-minute race. If you're in the pits, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's kind of race over, really.
So
here's Fee.
The only winner out of that equation was Fiona Siddons, who moves herself into 18th place for Matthews Logistics.
A lap time. It's a 36.2. Look at the gap. 36.2 is a damn good lap.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she'll get some education from the rest of the guys in this league and improve racecraft and racing impacts and things like that, because that's what this league's all about. It's about sharing and getting people up to that that high quality
level,
racing level.
Getting to the next level.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right.
I've seen these drivers improve. I've seen some. Carl was a different driver entirely from when he first started in this league. Those seasons of fierce competition have really honed him as a driver and matured him, and given him skills and confidence.
And
It's happened through everybody, I think.
Yeah, that's what we like to see in BSTV leagues. It's exactly the same in the V8 one. And they are masters of their V8 craft, it has to be said. And I think Stephen Walker's had enough now. He's taking the race to Spencer.
It just shows you the pace of these two. They're absolute masters.
Well, if you can
I
leave...
love to watch them driving. I love to watch the pair of them, honestly. It's great to watch drivers of this kind of quality, isn't it?
It is. And if you can leave Wobbly and Adam and Gary and David and Sam behind, you know you're fast. You know you're fast.
Oh, it's just that, the times are practically identical. You're talking about hundredths, but it's applying that hundredth time after time, lap after lap.
Yeah.
Not making any mistakes, then throwing it away. And that incredible consistency of the drivers in front, it's just ekes out a gap when there's only hundreds in it. It's amazing to me that they do this, but they give nothing away generally.
No. Good evening to whoever's watching on Twitch. We've got a few on YouTube and just the one on Twitch at the minute, so thanks for joining us at Oulton Park.
I've got a Twitch, you're right.
A different type of Twitch.
Oh.
Yeah. Right, so Stephen closing in still. Oh, we're getting a bit tasty and racy around Carl as somebody just entered pit road. I fear it may have been Matt Flannery again. I think it was. Yeah, it was. I think he's got bigger issues with that car at the minute. Hopefully he'll stay with it for the second race. So these race weeks, 20 minutes in the first...
We're at 16 already.
We're at 16 already. It's crazy.
Goodness me, I'm just getting... That's awesome.
After a short interlude, we will have the feature race, a longer race, 40 minutes, twice as long, but mandatory pit stop. Where Wobbly always puts insufficient into the tank, as Stefan is about to put your leader a position down here.
Oh, he is.
And he's done a great job of that.
He's doing a great job of it, and you've got to earn that to get that off goal, so kudos to Stefan.
That was a nicely worked overtake, that. Really good.
Yes, yeah, you've got to take your hat off to that kind of... we love that, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Pure skill and timing, everything.
Right.
Beautiful.
Everybody's suddenly got racy, Alan, so we'll have a look at the front a second. So they are as they were, but Stephen's having a really good look at the inside, which you will be when you get to Old Hall Corner for Spencer there.
Yeah. Coming to the last laps, aren't we? So he'll be looking for a way past if there is one.
Yeah, Carl just took his position back off Stefan at Lodge and has maintained it up and over Dearly. And behind them, immediately behind them, is these two. This is Jamie Jeffrey, who has caught back up with Tony now, Tony Walker. And then further back still, David Ayres and Lee Bowden. Lee's just overtaken David earlier in that last lap, but we were watching other people racing at that point and doing overtakes.
Great to see David still on the track with his technical issue last week.
Yeah, that was bad.
Out his racing, that was sad.
We've had a few occasions of that with David, haven't we?
Yes, it's, I don't know if it's the internet in Norfolk or whatever it is, but he's had real technical issues. It's really been a drag for him, and it's great to see him in this race and doing well and having fun in his car. Where's my whiskey? There you are.
What tipple are you on today?
It's Tabnavulin.
Oh yeah, you were on that last week, weren't you?
Yes, I buy it in quantity.
Quality. Right, so on board with Stephen, just to see if anybody's waving a flag in that booth at the top there. I didn't see anybody on that lap, so I think we've got two more, Alan.
When you're in the car here, you just don't see any way past. It's a miracle to me how these guys get past in the way that they do.
Yeah.
That overtake by Stefan was so sweet. Because, he's sitting in there, it really doesn't look like you've got room.
Yeah.
But,
sorry, this is the last lap.
Oh.
I've just seen Barney waving.
Oh, Barney's woken up. Good lad.
He has. So this is the race lead. We're going to watch this to the end because I do foresee something going on. I'm going to keep one eye on Jamie Jeffrey because I think he wants that 12th place off Tony Walker before the end of this.
Who we're looking at? Is Jamie still in 8th?
Jamie Wilson is in 8th. Yeah. How's he ended up there again? But man.
Oh, just fingers crossed he manages to get over the line.
Yeah.
Get the reverse pole. Because I felt for him the last 2 weeks he's been robbed of it by practice.
I think Ant Woodward has been off track and has been overtaken by a few cars just there. So we'll have a look back at that.
Oh.
He's now back on track. Oh, he's had to jump to the pits. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. Once we've concluded this bit of racing, we'll have to be quick with it because this is a heat race, so it'll cut us off pretty fast. A celebratory flash of the lights towards Spencer as he wins. Round, what are we, 21?
With the fastest
21.
lap.
We did. Lap. Oh, no, Stephen Walker with the fastest lap still.
Yeah, thank heavens.
Yeah. That was pretty close, though.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, let's just, as other people continue to cross the line, lots of lights flashing. Jamie Jeffrey did not get one over on Tony Walker before the end. We are going to look at what happened to Ant. I hope but fear that this is another technical gremlin. Maybe wrong, of course. Let's see. So he's making his way through Island Turn just there. Oh no, gets a bit of a slide on, gets grass.
He got a wheel on the curb.
Yeah, and then spits
put him
off.
on the grass, and there it is.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy. He's one of probably millions on sim racing that have done that. It's too easy.
At least his car's still moving, is it? No, he had to go back
to
to
reset,
didn't he? So yeah.
So
still, it would have counted, isn't it? He would have got his points.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
Right, let's go through the finishing order there. So your race winner for round 21 was Spencer McCarthy for Geodesic Racing, with Stephen Walker following him home very close for Spectre 6. Wobbly came in 3rd for Impulse Racing and rounds out the podium. Gary Craig was 4th. That'll do his championship, the World of Good, staying in close contention with those front runners and ahead of Sam Blees. Adam Wright finished 5th for BSTV Sports Pink. David Johansson finished 6th for Sim Racing Grid Hyundai, with Sam Blees in 7th for Geodesic Racing White. That might hurt him, Alan.
Yes.
7th place. Yeah.
We don't often see Sam down in 7th and 8th places, do we?
No, and not.
And with the points being so close with him and Gary.
Yeah, it proves that losing your car on the first lap means that you drop down the order really quick, because the whole pack is bunched together at that point, isn't it? I don't think it was the first lap anyway. I think it was 2nd or 3rd, but it's really impacted him. 8th was Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera, who gets the reverse pole for the next race. Matt Elmore is finished 9th, for Spectre 6. Carl Hardy finished 10th for Safeguard by Result. Stefan Goebel was 11th for VTS Esports, with 12th being Tony Walker for Spectre 6. Jamie Jeffrey was 13th for CCR. 14th was JB Dejoux for BSTV. Lee Bowden finished 15th. 16th was David Ayres for Result Clothing. Fiona Siddons was 17th for Matthews Logistics. 18th was Ant Woodward for NQR, after we saw that crash right at the end, which he's probably beating himself up about. And Matt Flannery was 1 lap down in 19th place for Geodesic Racing. Wow.
Poor Ant, honestly, because that just shows you he just got the slightest knock on that curb, didn't he? And it just put him across, and it cost him so dear.
Yeah, I'm just sending him a message saying not the first to crash there. It's a very common place to find a wall, to be honest.
I've crashed every inch of this circuit.
yeah. I'll second that. So, this is not a challenging pit stop this time. Pit lane.
No, it's a nice pit
short.
lane, isn't it? Short yeah.
It's uphill, so you get some of your speed shed before you even get to it, Alan.
Yes. No, it's I think that Actually, this might make a difference for the the super pit stoppers that we have among us. They could take an advantage here because getting up that hill and getting in and getting out again, it's going to be it's going to have to be quick, isn't it?
It is, and I saw in practice Wobbly doing a number of pit stop practices. I'm wondering whether Spencer will do one here, because the later you can get on the brakes, here we go, straight in, and the cones are right there, then you're into the pit road. So you've not got a lot of travel, have you?
You've really got to be there, spot your finish, and there, you've got to spot it, absolutely. You don't want to be mucking around, you've got to stop. You've got to get stopped and started as quick as possible because everybody else is going to be.
Yeah, so I think he'll do his pit fill and, well, he won't fill the car. Has he got out of the car there? Yeah, he has. So I think we'll see others doing the same because you're right, in previous races, the pit stop has defined who's come out on top, haven't they?
Yeah, well, if you can get the overrun and just, these guys are incredible at saving fuel. The cars are running so close together. Everybody's going to be able to save a bit of fuel. You're never going to be able to call who's going to go in there and come out quickest because there's so many good pit stoppers. And I think when it's tight like this, the margins are so narrow that you could really make a difference if you're slick. And some of these guys are very slick.
Yes, very.
The other thing, I was interested. Carl told me that he was struggling with off tracks. I wonder if there was were there a lot of penalty points in that flying around?
I can't actually tell anymore because it trips over for me in between sessions and I can't go backwards. So yes, Oulton Park is famous for it being easy to pick up incidents on the outside of turns generally. It's easy to run wide. As we, I guess, watch another pit stop. Oh Christ, that was fast, wasn't it?
Oh, well,
Did you see that?
Isn't
what
it?
the hell? He's gonna get.
It's surprised, when you said that Wobbly was practicing. That just tells you how important this is.
Yeah, it really does. Right, let's just whip through this grid because we know what it is because we saw it finish before. So round 22, the feature race, 40 minutes, one pit stop. Lots of points on display here for people to reach out and grab and try and get to the top of this championship. So Jamie Wilson, our usual reverse pole man for Team Chimera, goes off first. Sam Blees joins him on row 1. Was that planned? Who knows? Geodesic Racing White. David Johansson, row 2 in 3rd place for Sim Racing Grid Honda, and then Adam Wright for BSTV Sports Ping. I'm going to have to rattle this out. Gary Craig off 5th, Wobbly 6th, Stephen 7th. They're all gridded at the minute. Sam's come back off the grid, is he? I don't know. I think we might have to cover this at another point in time. I'll keep going. Wobbly 6th, Stephen 7th, 8th is Spencer, 9th is Matt Elmore. Oh, we're going. Can't do that, not got enough time. We're off. It's happening.
We're racing.
We're racing. Where is he anyway?
No idea.
Side by side into turn 1, and Sam Blees has got that done. David Johansson was sniffing for it, and he's got 2 BSTV cars crawling all over him now.
Sam's a superstar, so it doesn't surprise me that he edged Jamie there. But I don't suppose Jamie won't be that bothered. He'll be very happy to be running second. Oh, crikey.
Matt Elmore spat out the side of Cascades. Good grief, that was violent. But anyway, we'll have to go back to this.
Car's all right.
Car's fine.
So.
Yeah, I think he may have been nudged off, but I'm not sure. All I can see is now many cars passing Matt Elmore on my timing screen. So off we go, up the back straight, up to Hilltop.
Well, Matt's got his work cut out now, so we'll see how he gets on.
Yeah, that's.
And we can keep an eye on the off tracks because I'll be interested to know if it starts to get a bit sweaty.
Yeah, Carl Hardy and Stefan getting proper racy with one another, and now Jamie Jeffrey making an issue of it.
Continuation of the first race, isn't it? These three.
It is. And I don't know how Stefan saved that, but brilliant racing. Absolutely brilliant. He's going to get driver of the meeting for me. with what we saw in the previous race and that there, unless he does something absolutely silly. For me, he's doing a great job tonight. Here we go,
Yes.
wobbly on Spencer.
When we think of that Audi as
Spencer on
not
wobbly.
being the most agile cars, don't we? We don't think that's the
No.
nimble one that's going to get round, but he's doing a grand job in it.
He is. So,
Well,
wobbly.
this time pouring on the purple, and
Yeah.
I think what you said about him, maybe he realised that he was going to be not just going to get through the field, and being where he was going to put him in a very good spot for the second and future race.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be in your mind, doesn't it? If it's a long way and it's risky to get to 6th
It
place,
might not
then
be.
stay 7th and stay on the front row for race 2.
It might not be in my mind, Pete.
Well-
it certainly would be in something like Sam's mind.
Well, for me and you, Alan, if it was a reverse top 19, then we'd be in for it, wouldn't we?
Oh, dear, at the back already.
So, Adam, putting pressure on David Johansson here. This is for 3rd place. This isn't shabby. David sees the light. He sees sense and comes off the gas. Gary not able to get anywhere near him at the minute. Got a bad drive off that last corner, and he's got Stephen Walker breathing down his neck now.
That's just what you want to see.
Oh, timing screen is red. Oh, Adam!
Oh,
Adam, where you going, son?
Oh, it's going to cost him a little bit.
Did he hit anything? I don't think he did.
No.
Oh, he just hit
He's Stephen now.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, well held to him.
Yeah,
That could have been so much worse.
it really could.
They're not mucking about, are they?
Not at all. You wouldn't believe this was a feature race. This is a 40-minute sprint already.
I love the look of the grid, actually. You know, on the starting line, because the way
Yeah.
the reverse had split everybody up. You know, it looked really interesting because the guys at the front are tasty drivers, and they're going to make it easy for the maybe the faster shots just slightly behind them.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
always makes for a fascinating contest.
Jamie Wilson's going to thank me for this because it's words you don't normally say. Fastest lap of the race so far, Jamie Wilson.
Ah, nice one, Jamie.
And Woodward, after his previous race woes, making his way forward in good order here. And Matt Flannery is following him. So next on the scalp list for Ant Woodward is David Ayres. Evening to Chris Jackson, all the way over from the pond. Hope you're enjoying this.
So Davey's going to have his work cut out, holding them two back. So he's going to look forward to that. That'll be a right old battle, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, Gary Craig here, under pressure now from Stephen Walker. These two happy to race one another. Let's see what's... Oh, Stephen's had to drop back in. And Adam is now sniffing at Stephen. Chris Jackson's at work. Unlucky, mate. Keep telling him you're working and just keep watching this. So...
Oh,
Adam was having a really good look then.
these are all such good drivers. You know, they all like to race hard, and it's just you just don't know because you just don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know.
No. And now, Sam Blease has got away here. 1.2 seconds in the lead. Oh, David Johansson and Gary getting together, and in the background, somebody else.
Was that Steve?
I think it was Stephen Walker, who's faring badly. He's getting muscled out here quite a lot. We'll go back and look at this. Look at that, rather. As we're 4 wide or something going over Hilltop. 2 by 2 now. They've sorted themselves out a bit. Into Knickerbrook. Oh my God, that's got to end badly, right? Oh no, well done everybody.
Oh,
Well done
this is
everybody.
Brilliant driving. Brilliant driving.
It's
guys.
unbelievable. How many? Oh, that's a car off.
Oh.
That's Stefan. So we've got a lot to review.
Oh,
I know.
what happened to Steph?
I know, but I think I cursed him with saying about driver of the meeting. Kind of feel bad now. but not bad enough to
No,
stop talking
I think
about
that
this.
one had worn out. I think that curse had worn out.
Do you
You know,
reckon?
there's a time limit on them. Oh yeah, the time limited.
Right.
I
So
think they only work for 20 seconds.
we're going to go back to what I think is the pivotal point, because it all started getting very tasty around about here. So into the horseshoe here, and then two things happened at the same time. So Stephen got muscled off, and there was all sorts going on. Then we got 3 wide going up and over hilltop here nearly, and then we paired up, and there was a save made going out of Knickerbrook. And then what we'll do is find Stefan, who's had to reset to the pit. So Adam had to save it there. There was others saving it further back. And then what happened to Stefan?
Stefan.
It was somewhere here. Lee's collected him. So, yeah, I don't think Stefan's going to be too pleased with that.
No, that was on the ice grass as well.
It was, when the grass is faster than the track itself. Hopefully after the tow, Stefan can get out and, I don't know, do some fuel saving and get back on terms. What that has done, Sam Blees is in the lead now by 1.2 seconds still. Jamie Wilson is in second. David Johansson's breathing all over him. And then there's a big gap, 2.1 seconds back to Gary Craig, who leads everybody else.
No. Has Gary got the purple? Was he putting past his lap now? Goodness me.
Wow, yeah. 133.5. That'll come down a lot because they were doing 133.0 in the last race, in the 20-minute.
Good luck, my Gary. There, he's not got no draft here. He's not taking advantage of somebody else's momentum in front.
No.
So that's good driving. It shows you that he's got the pace in the car.
Oh yeah. No slouch. Absolutely not.
I wonder what his setup's like. I bet it's just a bit fleeting.
Yeah, potentially.
These guys can drive setups that I wouldn't even get out the pit.
Just doing donuts on the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a front wheel drive car.
It amazes me.
Light refreshment.
It amazes me. You know, people send me setups that I love to try them, but honestly, they have them. They're set so that the tolerances. You know, I need a bit of grip. I need to be able to feel the car. I can't have zero everything, and I know they go fast, but I can't get around the corner. I just go straight on.
Something odd just happened to Jamie.
Oh no.
I think he got a slowdown from Knickerbrook because he seemed to take an enormous amount of curve, or was he just slow out of the corner?
I think he had a bad exit. It looked like, didn't it?
It did, but then
He got a clobber on the corner.
oh yeah, he got stalled out of the corner. And then got done
that
again.
grass, Jamie.
Yeah. Got done by
Gary's got
Gary.
him.
Yeah. So we'll go back live again.
Well, it's just fantastic racing. I knew it was going to be great tonight. It's unavoidable on this track. It's so tight quarters, and so everybody knows it so well. That, and because of the relationship with the drivers, the trust between them, they're prepared to put in cars that it looks mad that you put a car there, and
yeah,
they do it all the time.
Adam's got a good run
really?
here. Adam has got a good run, and he's just about alongside. Later on the brakes, no, earlier on the brakes. Didn't like the sharp corner.
It's a wicked double. Oh God.
Yeah, Druids is punishing, isn't it? It's not one line.
The thing
through
is,
it, but it feels like
there's so many. You've only there's more than one line, but you've only got to make the smallest error because you're driving so hard and so on the limit that you're pushing yourself all the time. You're pushing your car, you're pushing yourself and your ability right to the very edge, and it's brave stuff.
Yeah, and Adam's pushing Jamie at the minute round Old Hull Corner, but we'll talk about that later. JB's had an off-track excursion. It's not really done him any damage. He didn't lose any positions. Oh no, he did. He lost one to Ant, who moves up 5 places now. He's up 5 places.
Jamie, I wonder what's happening to him, because he's in 34s and he was in 33 before, so maybe something happened to him there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's hope it's
Needs to going backwards a little bit.
recoverable.
Having said that, he's got very fast drivers around him, but the gap's grown, what seems to me, fairly quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Craig, no toe. Has he got no toe? Oh no, he has toe now, because David
He's got
Johansson's
some
in front of
toe
him.
now.
Yeah, so he's just done yet another fastest lap of the race, 1:33.404.
Well, he's caught David up.
He has. And Adam Wright is about to do something else here. Is he gonna... No, he's backed out of that again. Oh, no he hasn't.
Oh.
I think Jamie was a bit too deep into the braking zone there and outbraked himself a little, and Adam's got the car alongside. Old Hull Corner should be Adams, but you can do the outside line here if you're willing to take that off track. Is there a cut back here? Adam's like on a different racetrack. He's that far wide.
Goodness me, that was my line.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to be tight around there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back here, Stephen Walker and Jamie Jeffrey have been swapping places out of Old Hall. It's getting a bit tasty in various places at the moment. Can't look at anywhere without seeing 3 or more cars covering one another.
Well, Sam's loving this, you know, behind him.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, this is. I wonder if this is what he was thinking when he got that. Yeah, I think right, reverse pole, be near the front, make one of my usual awesome starts, and drive away. And they'll be fighting behind me. They'll never catch me.
Yeah.
If he drives his usual flawless race, he's got this. It's his to lose already. That's amazing, isn't it? Really.
It is. Yeah. He's what's that? 3.7 seconds. There it is.
Yeah, that's a substantial gap, especially when the guys behind you are just going at it hammer and tongs. They don't care. They're racing.
What's Jamie Wilson doing back here? Oh, he's under pressure from Wobbly, who's got him offline.
Oh.
And Wobbly's going to be on the wrong side for Old Hull Corner, so this one might be. I mean, you got to favour Jamie for this corner.
Yeah, Jamie's got this one.
But Wobbly will see it round the outside. He's going to go super
Go wide.
take the sacrificial off track and get the right side of the track for Cascades. That's a touch.
Oh.
Good control though. Yeah, I suppose. Ooh, where's Gary gone? Why is Gary so far back? We've missed something whilst we were watching that happen.
Well, Spencer's got past him.
He has.
Well, if anyone's going to come past it, it's going to be Spencer.
Yeah, we've seen in previous races how quick he goes past people. It's terrifying. So up and over Hilltop, heading towards Knickerbrook. David Johansson given a bit of relief here in terms of time, not in terms of his bladder.
Did we see David Ayres crash?
I don't know. I didn't see it. If we did.
I didn't see it either.
No, I'm going to have a look in a second. So that's,
lost David. I hope it's not a technical thing. I hope he's gone out in a racing incident. That'll make him feel better than the technical issue again.
Yeah, so Stephen Walker's had 3 shots at Jamie Jeffrey now and not managed to make it stick, and now under pressure from Carl, who decides, I'm not having any of that, I'm going to pit road. So he and Jamie Wilson both in pit road at the minute. The first to pit, and Ant Woodward. Right, while that's happening, there's still battles going on, but I'm going to go and find what happened to David Ayres. So this is the last time we see David Ayres. So we're heading towards Druids. double right-hander. He's a bit twitchy going on the second phase. Everything seems fine. And then he's vanished. So it's technical yet again for David Ayres. That's a massive shame.
So disappointing for David.
Yeah, that's very sad.
And he was right in the racing and enjoying himself as well. That's so disappointing.
Yeah.
Oh, matey, we'll get it fixed.
Yeah, eventually.
So we've got people taking really early pits because that's going to break up the formations and everything. And,
yeah. It was quite exciting to watch how it all played out last time with all this going on. Matt Elmore is quite a way down the field after all the shenanigans at the start and chasing Matt Flannery down. He's lapping around about, well, he was a second faster than Matt Flannery on the last lap. And further forward, Spencer is pushing the issue now with David Johansson and Gary Craig's wanting to mop up as Stephen Walker enters pit road. So that's the first of the superfasts. It's funny, isn't it? On some tracks, the TCR doesn't look like it's going very quick. On Oulton Park, it looks like it's absolutely hammering it.
I think it suits the circuit well.
Yeah, I do as well.
This first front-wheel drive is, I think it just likes these corners and it relishes them.
Yeah.
They're so fast and flowing. You just want to turn in nicely and carry your pace through, and it's exhilarating.
Yeah, so this is the fight for 5th place.
Adam's doing very well to stave off wobbly.
He really is, actually. Adam's quick this week, though, so I've probably just cursed him as well. Holding on to 5th place at the minute, but the three in front, David, Spencer and Gary, are squabbling quite a lot, and there's a lot of risks being taken at the edge of the track. I don't know that we'll necessarily see any punishment dealt out by race stewards, but for track limits, but I suppose it could happen. The incident limit could get reached around Oulton Park on a 40-minute race. We've already seen some sacrificial ones, haven't we?
Yes. Well, I think the drivers will be well aware of their incident count, because you don't want to be doing drive-throughs, do you?
No, not at all. Not on any track. You just the penalty is exponential to the penalty, to the crime rather. So Stephen Walker's popped out of the pits ahead of Jamie Wilson, which is a big gain for him. We'll talk about that a little later on. We'll go back to this battle.
If Jamie can stay with Stephen in his tow, he might have a bit of benefit from that.
I've thought about that exact scenario in previous races. I'll just stay with this guy. He's in the same car as me. I'll stay with this guy for as long as I can. In less than a lap, he's disappeared and I'm out of his tow. So frustrating. These super guys, super fast guys, made us something a bit different when it comes to racing.
Oh yes. I'm very familiar with that sensation.
However, I can spell onomatopoeia. I'm not sure whether they can necessarily.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, Gary Craig.
And I know what it means, so that's even better.
Yes, it's the sound of a sound.
Now, Gary's got in the pits. Now, Gary's shrewd pit stop man.
Lee Bowden's in as well from a bit further back down the field, but Gary usually... Oh, that was quick. Gary usually got good racecraft and understands pit strategies and when he's getting slowed down and when he's not being getting the advantage. So we'll keep a watching brief on what happens there. Wonder
Well,
if
it's
that's...
fascinating because you just don't know how things are going to pan out, do you? When
No.
somebody's taken an early start and then there's, you know, the guys that he was in close competition with, they're still out. You don't know how it's going to come back together. It's absolutely, you don't know how it's going to all fall together after the stops. I love it. I think it's fascinating the way the way things come together after the stops because they change sometimes incredibly.
Oh yeah, you know, we had it last week with Wobbly taking a thimble full of fuel and having to fuel save it to the end of the race. And at Daytona, it's kind of possible. Was it Daytona or was that V8? I can't remember.
Well, he ran out at Cota, didn't he?
Cota it was, yeah. Cota he ran out. So yeah, you know, gambles like that seem like a good idea at the time. Only good if you can follow up on them, I guess.
There goes Adam.
Adam to pit road. That looked like a nice, swift and smooth stop. Somebody else who's good at pit lane, at pit stops. Nobody else joining him yet on what is the 15th lap. We're 23 minutes in nearly. Ant Woodward out of the
Wobbly's
race.
by himself now.
Yeah.
Oh, disappointing.
Yeah, what happened to Ant Woodward? Oh, he's just parked it. Has he?
That's right through.
If his car...
Oh, no.
Oh, no. So,
What's that?
That looks...
That's a retirement of some kind.
It is. I wonder if he's got issues with his gear again, because he had it again at the weekend, car spearing off left and all sorts.
No.
Yeah, he's got issues with his Simu Q.
Oh, Ant.
So we'll wait for a better day for Ant, because it's not today, sadly.
Oh, he's such a nice lad.
He is, he's brilliant. And if anybody wants an electric bike, then they need to go to Wild Rides, which is his and Stacey's company, and go and get yourself an electric bike.
I'll have one made out of metal instead.
What, instead of electricity?
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do for it on a deal. I mean, making them out of metal's a bit, you know.
It's a bit old hat, really, isn't it? A bit old school.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Modern. All
I'm
stuff
not ready for an election.
Yeah. All modern stuff's made of pure electricity, isn't it? You know.
I suppose, in a way, everything is. It's still atoms, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you know, electrons. I mean,
Yeah.
a lonely electron.
Yep, absolutely. So, pit road is a bit busy at the minute. Jamie Jeffrey, Matt Flannery, and Tony Walker. But up front, we have... Oh, and Stephen Walker's just done the fastest lap of the race. Out of the pits. So I don't know that Jamie Wilson's managed to stay with him, has he?
Well, it's interesting at the front because Spencer's now in the chase after Sam. Yep. And he's closing him.
Yes, he is. 4/10 quicker on that last lap. So that gap is reducing very quickly. David Johansson is also faster than the race leader. So I don't know whether the race leader's doing some fuel saving or something like that. Don't know.
Never tell with Sam, can you?
No, you can't. And then Wobbly is... Stefan's in front of him on a recovery drive after the incident earlier on. But he's back. He's still racing. He's going to pick up positions as well.
He doesn't quit unless he really has to. You know, he comes out again after repair and still races. You know, respect to the man. He's a racer through and through.
Too right. I'm pretty sure if he could race on German tracks every day, he would do. So again, busy pit road. Sam Blees, our one-time race leader. David Johansson, Spencer McCarthy, and JB.
Oh, anybody saved fuel? Is anybody done a particularly brilliant stop? Been quick to the
oh dear,
the cones? What's going on?
Oh dear, Sam Blees.
He's stuck.
I think he's in for a repair.
Oh.
Is he?
Not stop and go then.
I think he's been penalised or something of that nature. Let's just have a look at his pit stop. Has he got done for a dangerous pit lane entry? Let me just switch cameras and back again, because it resets the angle of the camera. That doesn't look bad. No, that didn't look bad.
Fine.
Yeah, he's on the limiter. And he gets to his box, and then bad things.
It's not on to make a mistake going into the pits, isn't it, Sam?
No, I don't understand, because I think he's still there. Oh no, he's not. He's out.
Oh. Oh, that was painful. That's cost him dear.
He was in the pits there. Oh, he's had a penalty. 40-second stop and hold.
What was it for? We don't know.
Speeding.
Speeding in the pit lane.
Speeding in pit road. So even the best can get caught out by that. And he is way down the field. He is now in 14th place. Carl Hardy, why did you just disappear on my screen? Oh, you're just in the pits. Right, okay, that's fine.
Oh, it's unfortunate for Sam. It is. And, oh, Carl's just disappeared.
Oh no, Carl did jump to the pits because of this. Ooh, I just clicked the wrong one, sorry. That's not what we were wanting to look at. My screen moved as I clicked. So whatever it was to do with this. So, oh, that's technical.
Oh!
That's technical. He just drove straight on at Knickerbrook.
Oh, that wouldn't have been a lot of fun at all in this car.
Actually, it was at Clay Hill, but yeah.
But there was the microphone there.
Gremlin's going free for everybody today, Alan.
That was awful, wasn't it?
That was
It's just
bad.
absolutely straight lined him. It's been that before, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't want to see
David
it
Ayres
happening
was
to
the
my
last
captain.
time. Yeah. David Ayres did that once. Do you remember?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's. I don't know what's going on.
Don't they
with
both live in Norfolk? No.
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 Colchester.
Colchester.
I was in
right.
Colchester.
Oops, we're not looking at anything at the minute. There we go. Right. So technical gremlins getting everybody tonight, which is very sad. So what does that do to our standings? Has everybody pitted? Everybody has pitted. Spencer McCarthy is your new race leader.
He'll be disappointed though, won't he? To judge Sam like that, really.
He'd have wanted a race, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
So,
He was probably looking forward to it, wasn't he? You know.
Yeah. So he is 1.2 seconds ahead of Gary.
Gary's done very well, hasn't he?
Floating to the surface again. And has leapfrogged David Johansson in the pits, who's not going to be happy about that, I'm sure. Wobbly is up to his start position again. Is he? No, he's not. He's up 2 positions to his start. I think he started in 6th or something. And then we've got Stephen Walker in 5th place. 1.8 behind Wobbly, and then 1.1 behind him is Adam, who appears to have suffered one of the worst pit stops. Yeah, he's done a slower pit stop than a lot of the drivers in front of him by about a second, and that was all stationary time. So yeah, Adam's lost out in the pit stop phase there.
Well, he's probably got enough fuel in for the race.
Yep.
Maybe the others haven't.
Yeah.
Well, we look at that list of drivers, the top 5, top 6, top 7. Look at that. That's a lot of quality.
It really is. It really is, actually. I don't think I can count as high as the I ratings that are on there at the moment. I can work it through for you. 6.1k, 4.8k, 4.3, 5.6, 5.3, 4.2. Honestly, they're dizzying. And we've got Sam Blees back here in 14th at the minute on a recovery drive, about to overtake a sister teammate of Matt Flannery, who's let him go. Moves him up to 13th, and the damage limitation begins.
Well, Sam's capable of extraordinary recovery drives, so we'll just see how far he can get.
Yep.
And let's hope he hasn't got a load of off-tracks stacking up.
Yeah, it might not be the end of the penalties, yeah. Might get some for off tracks or incidents in general. Wobbly, the traitor kneecaps, very much closing in on David Johansson. Wonder how easily, cleanly, etc. an exchange between these two is going to be this time. There's been some
very good drivers.
They are, but it's a bit like putting Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost next to each other on the track. Do you get my point?
Yes.
A bit tasty at times, as Wobbly does the fastest lap of the race on that last lap.
You can see that he's busy.
Oh yeah, focused.
Well, they'll be loving this. They're both absolute racers, so they'll be relishing the challenge of each other. That's for sure.
I'm sure they're relishing something.
And well, Gary will be happy enough with this.
He'll be
behind him.
Yeah, if they start scrapping, he'll be giggling.
Yeah, if they're going to be distracted, and Stephen behind won't be backward in coming forward as well if they start getting too interested in each other.
Yeah, well, Stephen Walker is super rapid round here. I think he said he didn't like this track very much. I can't remember what he said now last week, but he is quick round here, very quick.
Quick everywhere.
Well, this is true, yeah.
But yeah, you don't want to hear him say, "Oh, it's my favourite track. I'm really rapid."
Yeah, that's like nobody turning up, nobody bothers. Yeah. There's a developing situation a bit further back. We'll just have a quick glimpse of it. Lee closing in on Jamie Jeffrey.
That's good driving by Lee, because Jamie's fast.
Yeah, he's up 6 positions from his start place. So he's absolutely making hay here. We'll nip back to this battle though.
Well done, Lee.
And you are absolutely on the money, Alan. Yet again, Stephen Walker's closing in on these guys rapid.
Well, I think even if they would just
my.
concentrate on going fast, he would still gain on them.
Have a look at his time.
Oh, he's done it.
He's done it. He's the only one so far.
Well done.
Yeah, 132.943. That's going to take some beating.
Cracking. My word. But if anyone's going to beat it, the 3 of the that people that can are in front of me, maybe 4 of them. But we know how Spencer and Wobbly enjoy a fastest lap.
Yeah, I know Gary's got the capability of fastest lap, but he's very good at saying, you know what, I'm not going to get tempted into anything like that might risk my second place, so I'm not going to bother with it.
No, but we know that...
round the outside of Knickerbrook, what are you doing, Wobbly? And you're making it nearly work, or he nearly did. That's just going to slow them all down, and Gary's going to be giggling like an idiot now.
Yeah, Steve's probably enjoying it as well. He's probably thinking he's going to have a clear track to drive through to carry on.
Yeah, I'm just keeping one eye on the timing screens because that Lee Bowden battle's brewing, and so is one with Matt Elmore and I think JB. Or it might be Sam Blees catching Matt Elmore. I can't really tell at the minute. I'm going to blink over to it. Oh no, it is. It's Matt Elmore and JB. I've got my numbers the right way around. I should have trusted myself that time. Oh, sacrificial off track for Wobbly, trying to keep pace with David.
You know what it's like when somebody's behind you. To me, it's incredibly exciting because I get when somebody spins and they get behind me. I find it really concentrates me to try and just eke every fraction of a second just to keep them behind.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, they're slightly faster and they're just eking away by tenths off your time and they're creeping closer and closer. My God, it's fantastically exciting. And that's just what they're doing there now. Matt and JB, that's exactly what they're doing. You know, he's watching his time and doing everything he can, and Matt's driving his heart out, knowing that he's got the pace to catch him if he just does it perfectly. And it'll be thrill a minute in those cars. They'll be relishing the battle of trying to catch each other.
Absolutely.
I love these situations. I don't want to look in the mirror and see Stephen Walker coming. That's a very short-lived battle.
It is, yeah. I think one of the battles behind is brewing very much, and it's this one.
Yeah, no, these two. Oh, well, Matt's been.
Oh, get off the grass,
hasn't
Matt!
he?
Get off the grass! Oh my God!
It's
Flashy
been,
Lighty was
brewing up
nearly.
this one.
Yeah, Flashy Lighty was nearly good nighty, because I think that was nearly curtains for Matt Elmore. We'll go back to the one in front here.
He didn't look away.
I know. Stephen Walker has crept up on the pair of these, but I just don't think he wants to get involved yet.
No.
3 minutes to go though. Only 3 minutes to go.
Oh, goodness me, really?
Yeah. Lee Bowden apparently had a little off track, and I mean a little one, and it's put him out of the draft for a minute.
Well, Lee's doing ever so well.
We can't look away from these guys really. Ahead of these guys is Spencer McCarthy.
Spencer.
There he is.
He's got 3 seconds. Well, this is a great result for Gary.
Yeah, too right. Gary, whose name in Discord at the minute is accepts free podiums, and I think he wouldn't feel it too harsh of me to say that that's kind of what's happened with Sam Blees giving him a podium.
Well, I feel for Sam because.
Oh, David Jansen
Oh.
in his John Deere sponsored Hyundai. Should be green and yellow.
He did go to keep hold of that.
He did. We saw it in the previous race, didn't we? Was it Stefan or somebody else? Saw a few good saves in the previous race.
Yeah, well, these guys have got incredible skill. They can counter steer and they can save amazing things. The reflex are like lightning.
Yeah.
They're saving stuff. I'm already in the wall.
Yeah.
It's just a different level of response and instant reflex that is the proper reflex, not the one that I do.
Yeah. I was just checking to see if Barney was out. I think we're going to get 2. I said this last time and I got it wrong, so I think we're on 2, because I think they'll get round here and then take the white flag. This is mega close though. David Johansson flashing his lights at no one. Oh no, he is. Yeah, Stefan got out of the way. Good lad. Being lapped.
Very aware driving
Very,
again.
yeah. Made it clear that he was staying left, and David made it clear he was coming through no matter what, because there's too much to give up here. Spencer. Let's see if we can see any flags being waved. That right-hand pillar in the windscreen is probably going to be in our way of seeing this. There is a flag being waved. So one more to go. And these guys have got it all to do now. This will be the last.
Can Wobbly get by?
Yeah, there is very close battles behind. Like, very close. This one is going to brew up any second now. But we're going to have to keep watching this. Can't look away from this. David Johansson.
JB's doing a good drive to keep Matt behind him.
He is. David Johansson's looking a bit ragged in certain corners, though. He's being absolutely taken to task.
Wow. He's got a fearsomely quick driver behind him. And he knows he's got to be absolutely at his best. And maybe it's 110%, which is always puts you under pressure.
It really does. I mean,
these guys are driving for points here. This is, well in the season. People have been driving hard for a long time and stacking points and working hard at this.
Oh, David Johansson sideways. That's going to give Wobbly a really good run, but this is dangerous territory coming up towards Druids here, over Clay Hill. He might get him before Druids, and he's going to do it.
He's got it. Oh, all his Christmas came at once.
It really did. They did, actually. And, yeah. David Johansson, is he going to do a late break hero effort? No. Sensible driving. Sensible driving. As we welcome Spencer to the winner's enclosure.
Well done, Spencer, and well done, Gary. Look at that.
Yeah.
This is he'll be a very happy boy. But well done, Wobbly. Fantastic third place, and just on the last lap, in last half a lap, to get that third place after a slight mistake by David, the slightest mistake.
And that's all it takes, isn't it? Just the slightest of errors, you know? Sam Blease will probably not be very happy that he was speeding in pit road.
No. Oh, it's an unfortunate way to because that's cost him dearly, hasn't it, in the points race?
I would think so, yes. Particularly since he didn't have a great round 21 just before, so... Matt Flannery and Fiona just finishing off their races.
Yeah, well done, Fee.
Matt Flannery went to the pits for some reason. Is he getting punished for something? I don't know. And then Fiona over the line. Getting some decent points, actually, because we had 4 retirements there.
Yeah, no. He's like me. He likes to finish.
I think that was a penalty.
We're not the fastest in the world, but we like to finish. And if we keep finishing, we get reasonable results at the end of the season. Amazingly enough.
Yeah. And Matt Flannery took a penalty at the end there. Now, we've seen last lap penalties before. And because you haven't passed all the way through pit road, before you cross the line, you still take the penalty. So, I don't know what that'll do to the finishing order, but we're about to go and find out. So, we have race results.
Well, it's fantastic lap by Stephen for his passed his lap. He's only got in the 32s, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant performance, actually. So, Spencer McCarthy takes the top spot in the feature race for Geodesic Racing. What was that, 4 seconds? 4 seconds.
4 seconds.
Back to second place, Gary Craig for BSTV. Wobbly just got third place, bottom step of the podium for Impulse Racing, right at the very end of the race. And David Johansson, with the slightest of errors, let him go with a bit of sliding sideways at Knickerbrook for Sim Racing Grid Hyundai. Stephen Walker was spectator to all of that in 5th for Spectre 6. Adam Wright finished 6th for BSTV Esports Pink. Jamie Wilson was 7th for Team Chimera, with Jamie Jeffrey 8th for CCR. 9th was Lee Bowden for, he's driving as a privateer this season. 10th, Tony Walker for Spectre 6, with JB Dejoux behind him in 11th for BSTV. Hotly chased by 12th place, Matt Elmore for Spectre 6, the letters. Sam Blease, we know what happened to him in 13th. For Geodesic Racing White, Matt Flannery in 14th for Geodesic Racing. Did a penalty, clearly didn't get penalised any positions for it after all that. Fiona Siddons in 15th for Matthews Logistics. And then we've got the ones that didn't finish all of the laps properly. Stefan for VTS Esports, Carl Hardy for Safeguard by Result, Ant Woodward for NQR, and David Ayres for Result Clothing after his technical issue. I'm going to remind myself what happened in race 1 for the top spots, because for the life of me I can't remember. So we've got a double race win, double victory tonight for Spencer Allen, which is very impressive.
Yes. Yes, but it was gifted the second one a little bit, wasn't he?
Well, I think he'd have liked the race, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he'd have liked the scrap.
Yeah, no, he would have loved the race. He was charging Sam down, and we would have loved the race as well. So
yes, yeah.
We were all a victim of that. It's so unfortunate that there's nothing good about that. Sam lost his position, lost the points, and we were robbed of a really great battle because they might be teammates, but they go hard at it when they race, and they're superb drivers.
Oh, absolutely. And Stephen Walker got himself a second place in the first race. And was, what was that, 5th in race 2? Yeah, 5th in race 2. Decent night. Wobbly, 2 third places. And Gary Craig with a 4th in the first race and a 2nd in the feature race. Great night for him as well. So, I'll start setting everything up ready for chatting to these guys. Whoops. We'll do a bit of this.
Click, click, click.
Click, click, click. We'll do a bit of this.
Yeah, I enjoy these slow motions at the end. They're always fun to watch. It gives you a chance to see everything, and
And do you know what?
because normally it's so
I
quick.
spot loads of stuff that we missed during the race, and I just don't mention it. Anyway, it is quite good though. Right, let's drag in. Oh, I lost the ability to press buttons for a minute there, on, but never mind. I've sorted it out. Our double victory individual. I've just lost what I was going to say completely. I'm that excited about what I've just watched. Spencer McCarthy. Good evening.
Good evening, Haley Bishop.
Yeah. Well, you've mopped up twice tonight. Tell us about race one first. That makes sense, doesn't it?
So race one was all about the start. I think I'll have to say on that one. And I just had my defensive hat on. It's obviously a really tricky track to overtake. Stephen had amazing pace, so hats off to him. He was probably the quickest guy tonight, I think. And yeah, I just basically got the whole shot, as the Americans would say.
Yeah.
And managed to defend and get my head down.
And in terms of incidents in either race, how close were you to getting a penalty of any kind? I think some people were pretty close. There was a lot of sacrificial off tracks taken. Let's put it that way.
What, second race? I think I racked them up a bit early. I got I got past Wobbly quite early, which I was surprised actually. I think he was struggling with tyres early on. And I think following him through Druids, dipped a wheel off outside there and got the 1X. And then I think the second one was somewhere else. Then so I had two, and then all of a sudden there was the big concertina at the island. No, not the island. Shell hairpin.
Shell hairpin, yeah.
Where Adam unfortunately just tapped the back of Stephen's car, and I think I don't know if it's net code or whatever, but I don't think he wasn't side by side, so it was just weird for Stephen's car to jolt sideways like that. It was one of those unexpected things, and then we're all kind of like going, right, what do we do? If we all brake, then everyone's going to pile into us. If we all power, then is that going to put him straight? And I think it kind of did in the end. It flipped him straight, but by that point, obviously, he lost a lot of speed.
He did straighten up. There was, I think, from the angles that me and Alan were looking at it, because we replayed that a couple of times, it did look like proper contact.
Right, yeah.
And there was another one. Was it the other one ahead of you? I can't remember now. There was two contacts at exactly the same point, exactly the same corner. So we had two cars going sideways, one in front of the other.
Wow.
But about 20 feet apart. Watch the replay, watch the broadcast rather, because it was unbelievable, to be honest. It was like synchronized turning of cars.
Did that end anyone's night? Or was
no, everybody recovered that one. That was good. Further back, a couple of corners later, Stefan met a bitter end after spearing off. But do you feel like you were deprived of a race for the victory with Sam?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I was gaining a little bit on him. I don't know whether that was just the true pace he had or whether he was saving before the pit stop.
Yeah.
But then I think he was just a bit too aggressive on that pit entry, and unfortunately grabbed a 40-second stop and hold.
Yeah.
I guess maybe, at the end of the day, you've got to always push it. And I think I did an IMSA race at the weekend, a 2-hour race, and I kind of got disrupted by some GT4s at the end. And it's one of those things that from my head, I'm always pushing 100% because you don't know what the guy's going to do ahead. And you want to always keep that pressure on. I mean, whether that affected Sam or not, the fact that I was closing on him, or I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, it's always that it is a tricky track to overtake, but then also when you've got someone at like 0.1 of a tenth behind you, it is also, or a tenth, it is hard to defend when there's someone literally right on your back bumper, because you kind of think that if I make a tiny little mistake, he's so close that he will hit me because he can't do anything else but. So that you've just got to keep yourself completely planted and on it, and just know that if you do that, then they shouldn't have too much of a run. But then if they just get the tiny bit of the run, that they're just going to try something. So it's always that balance. It's very hard track to overtake, but hard track to defend as well.
Absolutely. Where do I go next with the conversation? That brings the standings very, very close together. It's eye-watering. So just looking at them on there now, Gary's posted them. So he's now top of the pile. 1191. Sam 1183, and yourself 1173. It really does take it down to the last week, doesn't it? Good grief!
Yeah,
I thought last season was bad. Oh
18
my
points off the
word!
lead. I mean, that's mental.
Yeah. It was
That's
fantastic watching you tonight. You know, really fantastic driving.
I don't turn up next week.
Yeah, I do. I love Oulton Park. I mean, yeah, it's like everyone does, right? It's just that track.
Yeah.
It's like it's the UK Nordschleife, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it
with
is
you.
actually.
I love it as well, Spencer. But
Um,
we've been treated some fantastic driving by everybody tonight. The racing's been amazing.
yeah. I mean, the times have been great, right? I mean,
Yeah.
times up and down.
Well,
Yeah,
and Stephen got that 32.
29, 30, 32.9, yeah.
Amazing. What a lap.
yeah, amazing lap, amazing lap.
And next,
I think my optimum was a 32.9, but yeah, just stringing that together is just something else.
yeah, it's unbelievable the pace you guys get out of these cars. And we saw some fantastic overtakes behind you. I don't know whether you were aware of them or not. But yeah, Spa next time out. Now, being an expert in the car, the drag and the tow in this car is reduced this season, isn't it? Or so I've heard.
Yeah, there's not as much. There is a bit of slipstream, and I think you will see it at Spa. They're long enough straight, so you'll get something. Plus, we'll all be trying to put setups in that have got fairly low wings.
Yes.
So that will try and aid that. But yeah, I think it'll be completely opposite to this race. This race is all about you can't overtake. That race will all be about how many overtakes we will get in. I think it's going to be. I think come the end of the straights, you will get a good overlap.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be defensive game. It's going to be or last man standing really in the way of who's in the right place on the last lap. So we'll see. I think should be a really good one.
Something to relish. I think again because very different, a world away from this circuit, but both of them brilliant, real drivers tracks and something to relish actually, especially with everything so close. The Denum one's going to be amazing.
Yeah, pressure's going to be on top three for sure.
How did you find making your way through the field in the second one? Because you'd have started in 8th, obviously. Had some of the fastest racers to overtake, with the exception of Sam, who let you overtake him in the pits. That's how we'll describe that forevermore.
I just took the brakes. When I could.
Yeah.
Pete, it was just when there was an opportunity, you just had to seize it. Otherwise, you knew you were going to be stuck for another couple of laps trying to work out a way through. So. When I got through early or past wobbly early, I then got Jamie after a run. When I got Gary, going up the inside, coming out of Cascades, he just made a slight mistake. So again, you just got to pounce and take the opportunity. When unfortunately when Stephen and Adam caught up, it was like, well, I knew that my conscience was clear. I didn't cause it. So you're then kind of like, right, well, I know he's going to be slow. Where can I go? So you're just trying to find the gap then, and I managed to get a couple then as well. So it's just opportunity, not trying to. It's the balance of aggression, right? I think, and hopefully, I kind of get that right most of the time, and I don't, push people too far. But I think we're all very close racers, and we all have respect for each other now. So I hopefully. Yeah, I didn't hear any ill feeling about how I got past people, so I think it all went well.
Yeah.
No, it's the usual beautiful execution, and like you say, the relationship between the drivers, the respect gives us who are watching these amazing feasts of close racing. That it's hard to think you could see anything closer than the way you guys race. It's a real treat.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, absolute masterclass. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate a double victory tonight?
Gary, really. I mean, Christ, he's up at the top of the podium, top of the championship. Massive shout to Gary. Well done. He's stuck with it all the way through. Shout to me for giving him the setup. But
self-inflicted injury, that one.
Yeah, possibly. And then who was up there? I mean, Adam was running really well tonight. So shout to him. I think there's a few people found the tracker challenge. So shout to my teammate Matt. He thinks he's had a few weeks struggling. So yeah, it's got to try and, I don't know. Hopefully, maybe next time we're doing it, if we're in the same car or something, and we can try and, sort of coach him that way round. Because it's hard to be in different cars.
Yes.
When you're in the same team, if I can try and help him that way. But yeah, so yeah, and obviously then a shout to Sam for giving it up.
Yeah. Too right. Well, another masterclass. Wipe the floor with all of them. That should be your moniker for from now to next week at the very least. Spencer McCarthy.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Right then, we'll find one lesser spotted. Stephen Walker is next into the booth. A second place in the first race and a fifth in the feature race. Good evening.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, ça va? That's two different languages, but never mind. Where are you on the track? There you are. We found you now. Well, you were in the action all day, weren't you?
Yeah, that was certainly fun. We'll put it that way. It was the first race. Spencer got a better start than me, because
He got a flyer.
Yeah, his starting was incredible. It cost me that. I think if I'd been in front and managed to not make a mistake, he made 0 mistakes when I was behind him. So there was absolutely no way I was passing him. My pace was pretty similar. Yeah, it was tough. Certainly, I kept him on his toes. If he had made a mistake, I probably would have been able to snatch it, depending on where it was and how it was. But he's so good, it's not even funny. So
well, he had you down as the fastest boy on track today.
Yeah,
you think
fastest lap.
Oh yeah, I think I got the fastest lap, but I feel like Wobbly didn't get clean laps in the second race. I don't know. And then I had the tow in the first race from Spencer to do that. So I think that helped a little bit. I didn't feel the fastest. The car felt amazing. I had so much confidence in it. The second race was, yeah, like you say, very hectic. With everyone being really similar and pace-wise, even if you had a little bit of a couple of tenths, it was so difficult to get a run on anyone because everyone's really consistent, especially in the top 10. It's just unlucky. Went into the hairpin and Adam just caught me, which he addressed later on in the race. So I said thanks to that. I really appreciate it. He didn't really have to do it. It's just one of them things.
Yeah, his redress is actually on screen at the minute in the slow-mo.
Yeah, it's proper sportsmanship, and that's great to see. Because that caused me. I managed to save it from spinning around and causing a massive accident. But that let about 4 cars through. Gave me a 4 times. I already had, I think, 3 incident points. And then as we went into the following corner, everyone was side by side because obviously I was a roadblock and they were passing me.
Yeah.
So I just kind of let off a little bit before the braking zone, and I think it was Stefan. I didn't anticipate that. It gave me another 4 times. Lucky I kept the car in a straight line. So after, I think that was lap 4 or 5, I had 11 incident points. For the last 15 minutes or last 12 minutes of the race, I only had 1 incident. If I'd got 1 incident point, I would have had a drive-through. I was on 14.
Right. Good.
So I set that fastest lap, the 32.9, with 1 incident point to spare. So if I'd messed it up, then. But yeah, the car was great. I caught up to Adam was so kind to let me go. I feel like Jamie just made it a little bit easy, so I could pull him along when I came out the pitch just behind him, so I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. And then when I caught Wobbly and David that were battling a little bit, because I only had the 1 incident point, I was like, I can't really stick my nose in anywhere because it's a bit sketchy watching them two race with all the sudden movements and in the braking zone and stuff. So I was like, well, I'll just hang back a bit and see if anything kicks off and try and take advantage if I could. But like I say, with only 1 incident point, I couldn't really.
Yeah.
So I'll take that. I wasn't expecting to have such good results.
Yeah, well, it was Spencer that had you down as probably the fastest car on the track tonight.
When I get in the zone, the car just felt. Cannot put into words how great the car felt.
Right.
I don't know whether it suited the track or the car just I've grown fonder of the Honda. So
back to that one.
Yeah, it's always a car that I've enjoyed driving, and I won a
Yeah.
championship in it just for consistency. Whereas now they're all a bit closer together, so it makes the racing even better, and it's just good fun. So I was just having fun out there, and like I say, it felt great, and I was chucking it around, and I was properly on the limit, really scarily on the limit, but it's just fun. It's great. Everyone was racing really well. I didn't really say anything really
There's some
stupid.
fantastic driving tonight, Stephen.
Yeah.
It was awesome, honestly. It was what a watch. It was fantastic. So many superb performances. People driving so exquisitely. It was lovely.
Yeah, it sounded fun. So we'll
There's
watch
people,
that
everybody's on the
championship.
limit, aren't they? Everybody's right on the edge.
Yeah,
Nobody's holding back anything.
No, it's coming towards the end of the season. Everyone's like, well, let's do it. Let's push the boat out.
And
Let's
like you say,
explore the
no
limits.
room for error.
Yeah, especially on a really thin track like that. You can literally get two cars side by side and any small error, and then you both off. So there's a lot of respect there. Yeah, I think there's a few people that just need to remember it's not real life, and you don't have to fight for everything so hard. But it's still fun to race people. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. Like I know I've said that about 60 trillion times already, but it was great to
Well, we
be
had a
back
lot
with
of fun
everyone.
watching it. So yeah, good on you.
Yeah, no, hopefully everyone tune in again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, don't wash those lucky underpants before next week because it's Spa next week. That's a real love it or hate it track, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which camp are you in?
I like it, but not in a car like this. But
Yeah.
after they've changed the draft, it will be interesting to see what it's like, because prior you couldn't really break the toe if you were in really like half a second of pace wise of the car in front or behind. Whereas now I feel like you'd have to be really close on pace to keep in the person's toe. I think if you're half a second behind and you go through the corners, you might be able to drop them a little bit. Maybe not as much. It depends how many cars are in the train. I think it'll be interesting to see. I think it'll be maybe a different kind of race than what we've had before, possibly. So yeah, we'll see. I might do it. I might not. But it'll be either way. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, because they've changed the draft.
Awesome.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. It's very that could be a Spa. That's going to be a factor.
Yeah, it could either lead to just a train. Because if everyone's on a similar pace, you can't really overtake. But if people make a mistake, could lead to everyone really bunching up, and God knows. I think it'll literally go one way. It'll either be really exciting or really boring.
Yeah, we had a hilarious F4 race when we ran the Alt F4 League at Spa. It was the first race of the season. If you find it on YouTube, watch it, because
I think that's the one that I did watch, because it just was hectic.
So funny, because I was busy saying, look who's in the lead, and Clyde saying, it doesn't matter because it'll all be different next lap, because they were just draft training each other. And at the end of the Kemmel Straight, it was a different leader every single lap. It was brilliant. So hopefully we'll get something like that, but I think it's going to be a bit of a brawl because there's no gaps at the top of the table at the moment. So yeah, but a great night's racing from you. Great to see you running at the front, and we'll see you perform again at Spa. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go and celebrate your second place podium in race 1?
Yeah, obviously you guys for still flying the flag and putting everything on. It's really good. The rest of the guys for turning up. Still pretty decent grid, even though it's coming into summer, warm weather. So and just like I say, the racing was pretty respectful. So overall, it was just great fun. My teammates, I think they had a decent race. Maybe I think Kat could have had a better race. Just got a bit unlucky. But in general, it's good result all around for the team. Yeah,
Tony did good tonight. 10th in the second race, 12th in the first. Nice consolidated effort, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good fun. He's got some new pedals, so I think he just needs to get used to them. His consistency's good, but it's just figuring out how to go a bit quicker now.
Yep. Oh,
he's had a really good season. He's got a lot quicker.
Cool. Right, we'll see you next time out. Stephen Lucky Wookie Walker.
Ciao, Bella.
Good night.
See you later.
Always a pleasure speaking to Stephen. And who are we going to get in next? We'll get in. He's now also known, Alan, as the championship leader. Gary Craig, good evening.
How did that happen?
Your guess is as good as mine, you know. So, what did you do in the first race? Was it fourth?
Fourth, thanks
Fourth,
to
yeah.
Adam.
Yeah. And in the second...
Speaking of Adam, actually, have you got the Elantra paint on Adam's car by any chance?
I think I have. I was thinking about this several times throughout the broadcast. Why does his paint look a little bit meh?
It's a bit off.
It's a lot off, actually. The more you stare at it, the worse it gets. So just don't look at it.
Don't look.
Don't look. Brilliant racing tonight. Stayed out of other people's troubles is one way to put it. And threaded the needle in other places to get yourself some very well-earned points. And it's obviously done your championship the world of good, having Sam have two pretty poor results.
Well, I mean, it's been the last 2 weeks, actually. I've just managed to keep it clean, and everyone else has had a variety of issues. I think everyone other than me for the last 4 races who was in the championship battle have had at least 2 not great races out of it. So I got a bit lucky that I've managed to keep it clean. It's the only thing keeping me floating. Actually, as well, the total amount of incidents I've had this season is only 43.
Right.
That's what's got me. That's what's got me to the top at the minute. Is I've had like less than half the incidents of Sam, for example, and I've got like 30 odd fewer than Spencer. So it's just about trying to keep it clean. I've not been anywhere near as fast as those guys, but I've just managed to keep it close enough and kept it clean. That's what's made the difference so far.
Yeah, well, you say not as fast as the others, but you had fastest lap in both races at least once, and second race I think it was twice before other people snatched it away ruthlessly. And who was it got the ridiculous one in the second race?
Probably Wook.
Even.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, Stephen. Yeah.
Yeah. So Wook and Wobbly were both really quick. I don't know whether it was a bit of a.
He turned it right this second.
Yeah, that's the one I was describing at Spencer.
So David was a bit slow there, and I got at the back of him, which nearly put me off. And I was when I got back on the track here, I got wheels on the grass. I was a bit slow. I actually thought Wook would be alongside me here because I obviously was so far busy concentrating on being in the back of David. I didn't see what had happened behind. I fully expected me to be overtaken by the train right here, but I guess I got lucky.
Yeah. You had Lucky Wookie Walker's pants on at that point. But yeah, fantastic racing.
Yeah, well, don't tell him that I know where he lives and I know where his washing basket is.
Oh, this is true. Yeah, you can sneak in there again and steal his tighty whities. Adam had a good evening, if you know what I mean. He was in the thick of it though. He got elbowed all over the place by a number of different cars. So.
He did. I mean, and in race 1, he let me by at the end because he knew that the points were important, which was nice of him because he was a bit quicker in race 1. I felt mega in practice. I could have put a few great laps in, and then as soon as the race started, I don't know whether the temps were just a bit different and it lost the sweet spot for me, but I struggled a lot more in those races than I did in practice.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, Adam was quicker in front, and I kind of was thereabouts with him, but he was nice enough to pull over at the last lap and just help me out with the championship there, which is appreciated. And then what you probably didn't see was that he drove most of that last race with 14x. He had 10x he had 10x after about 10 minutes, and he finished on 14. So he did really well to keep it clean. Well, keep it clean enough for the rest of the race.
Wook had 14, sat behind you and who was it? No, sat behind Wobbly and David Johansson at the end there, and didn't want to get anywhere near it just in case. And we saw Matt Flannery do a drive-through on the last lap, and I've seen that turn out bad before because you haven't completed your penalty by the time you crossed the line, but I don't think it affected his position.
You get a 40-second penalty if you haven't served it.
Yeah. So, all kicking off. But what that does for next week is brings 3 of you, if not 4 of you, into a win. Is it 3?
It's Wobbly's a bit too far out. He's 66 points down now. There is 150 available, but you pretty much need
everybody to write off,
not to turn up.
Yeah. So 3 of you for the win for the championship victory. at Spa.
Yeah, 200 laps around the centripetal circuit. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's our mini Indy 500.
Yeah, yeah.
The centripetal 73 miles.
It's going to be bizarre. I mean, the draft isn't as prominent in these cars anymore, so is
No,
Spa
you
going to
need-
be very different, do you think?
You need to be about 2/10 behind to get any
2
appreciable.
tenths?
It's almost nothing anymore. It
Right.
might, with the longer straights, maybe make a bit more difference at Spa, but there's been no draft overtakes this season. I don't think it's been. It's pretty much been not there. But so yeah, I'm not a fan of Spa.
No,
I don't like it, and I'm typically not very good there. So again, it's not going to be my performance that decides the championship. I don't think. I'm just going to have to keep my fingers crossed that we all score similar amount of points, and I somehow managed to hold on to enough of a points gap.
Right.
Well,
Well,
you're doing a hell of a job of it, Gary.
just going to say the same
You
thing.
know, you're eking your points out. It's amazing the way you've done it so quietly and just, stacking them up quietly away. And there you are, shot to the front. That was a fantastic feeling for you. It must have been amazing.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's to be fair, it's all about trying to cut down on the incidents. That's a decision I made at the start of the season. It's actually JB said at the very start of the season that he was going to try and do 0 incidents all year, and I mean that's never ever going to work. But I actually thought that's a reasonable thing to do, to have that mindset. 'Cause
Right.
not picking up 5 incidents trying to overtake somebody that you would gain extra 2 points for is actually the sensible thing to do.
Good aspiration.
Well, don't forget, I think Tyler nearly won a championship doing exactly that in one of
Yeah.
our leagues. He did almost a 0 incident season, and came about 2nd or 3rd in something. I can't remember specifically what now, but the precedent is there.
Yeah, I mean that's been the aim all season, just to try and be quick enough to be in decent points and try to keep it clean.
Yeah, well, it's working for you clearly, and we shall look forward to seeing you doing the same again at Spa, a track that you don't like, but doesn't mean you can't do the same there. Anybody you'd like to thank? Probably Adam. Before we let you go.
Yeah, obviously a big shout out to Adam for helping me with a few points there. He was quick tonight, and also JB. We're doing really well in the teams as well. We've got a 52 point in the teams against Spencer and Matt. We've got our man. I've got to try and beat Spencer, and he's got to try and beat Matt. So
Right.
so that's going well. Hopefully we can at least get that, even if I don't manage to hold on to the drivers, which I'm kind of not expecting to do. But we'll give it a shot. And big shout out to you guys for doing the broadcasts and organising the leagues, and just everyone else who's watching and racing, as always.
Awesome stuff. In that case, we shall see you next week at Spa.
Centripetal circuit.
Try and sell that one as much as you can. It's not going to work. Gary Craig.
See ya.
Right, and then...
Centripetal circuit.
yeah. Unfortunately, we've got to speak to this one because I think he got 2/3, Alan.
Oh, well,
if we start the interview like this, anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
You've done this joke like 60 times, mate.
I know. So.
Did you want to hear the punchline of my joke?
Oh yeah, you told me a joke earlier, didn't you? Is it
I
one that we're
texted
going to
you
get banned for? Because I can't read.
No, definitely not. No, it's completely clean.
Hang on, then. Let me go and find. Right. Go on then.
Yeah, so I asked Pete, what did Gollum say when he stopped smoking?
Yeah.
No feeling no habits.
What the hell? You are mad. Absolute mad.
I got another one.
Oh dear, really?
What did Mario say when he broke up with Peach?
Who's Peach?
Peach is the princess, you know.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
When he broke up with her. No, go on.
Yeah, so it's not you, it's me, Mario!
Oh, this is shocking. Oh dear. Put E-Fuel on, will you?
She's downstairs, mate.
Anyway, so 2 third places. Were you hoping for better?
I think Steven had a 10th on me, so
Right.
I wasn't surprised to see him get the pole position.
Mhm.
I was basically on the same pace as Spencer in the first race. Stephen, and then Sam had his weird rally accident, and it scared me a little bit because I saw him snap. There's enough like a side road there, and he suddenly gripped again, and I lifted off because I thought he was coming back on the road. So it put me back like 1.7, 1.9 seconds, and I just couldn't catch up with Spencer and Booker. We were just doing the same pace the whole time.
Yeah.
So top 3 was basically after that incident was the maximum I could have gotten. The last race, I had a bit of scruffy opening. The first 2 laps were a bit scruffy, so Spencer got through. I didn't really want to fight it anyway. I had a plan, like I want to feel safe. Overtaking is hard anyway, so I managed to do that, and I overfueled with 1 liter, but it wouldn't have made any difference. I think I was a bit unlucky on my in lap where I had to overtake Stefan, and he lifted off a little bit later than I expected on the straight. So that did cost me like half a second. And if that combined with the overfueling, I probably would have gotten in front of David at the end of the pits. Well, it was a good race. I had a good fight with David. Felt like I was at least half a second quicker. I know he was telling me you had to fuel safe in the end. I did a cool move. I passed him.
Yeah.
And I tried it before on Knickerbrook, and I would never have tried that, but I did the same move in an official. Where I actually did hit my brake marker, and now I was just like a meter or 2 too late, where I had to stamp the brakes a little bit harder and didn't get to run out the outside. So it was a planned move. I already tried that before. But yeah, well, in the end, I'm pretty happy with the 3rd place. And as I told to Gary, I had a weird season where in the beginning it all went pretty good, and then I had weird incidents, unlucky incidents, some self-inflicted, some not self-inflicted, some weird ones with mines laying on the track. And I mean, it's good to see that we have 4 guys, let's say 4 guys, Stephen, me, Spencer, and Sam, who are definitely a little bit quicker than the rest. But it's really cool to see that now Gary is actually on top just by driving consistent.
And keeping it
I
clean.
think that, yeah, just keeping it clean, because I was looking at the stats earlier, and Gary had like 43 incident points. I did 107.
Yeah.
So I lost 67 points just on incidents compared to Gary. So if I would have done that, I would actually be on top.
Yeah, that's very well. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
bizarre.
and I think that's one of the major things that the league has going for it. That you have, even if you're a little bit off the pace, or even if you're fighting your own battle in the midfield, or maybe at the end of the pack, driving clean gets rewarded. Again, driving fast is more fun, but driving clean actually is a good, decent tactic to gain this position in the standings as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Second race, I wondered what had happened when you met David on track, and you had a fair fight overtake, and David just made the slightest slides across the track at Knickerbrook, didn't he? And then you
we spoke
in there
about
like
this.
swimwear. Yeah.
Because we viewed the incident a little bit, because I was, it's not a secret. I told him, like, you moved over a little bit, and then he was in our Discord, and I instantly said that's not smart, because, and then I passed him, and again, it was clean. We didn't have a fallout. We didn't hit each other. It's unlucky that he missed it, because he was quick. He was braking a little bit earlier than I expected a couple of times, and I reviewed this with Steven Walker, who's also driving the Honda, and he had the same thing, like, we had different brake markers compared to the others, and that made overtaking really hard. So we had to hold back in the braking zones quite a bit. In the last lap on turn 3, what's that called again? Turn 3. It's not Druids. It's not Knickerbrook.
The hairpin?
No, the turn 3. Like, you got 1, you got 3. The 3 is the longer one, the longer left-hander. Anyway,
Cascades.
Cascades. Yeah, thanks. And he broke a little bit earlier than I expected, so I had to stamp it again. And it had nothing to do with him. It was just the difference in cars, which made it quite hard for let's say Hondas to overtake.
Right. Okay. And do you think that Hondas will suffer at Spa?
No, I don't think so. I think the field is
got the
really
pace?
balanced. I think I'm gonna win it.
Do you really?
Yes, because I never
Keep that
tell
a
anyone this,
secret,
because
yeah.
never tell anyone this, because I actually like Spa. I know Gary despises it, and I expect Spencer and Sam to beat as well. No, but the Audi is definitely gonna have a little bit of an advantage on the top speed, but we if you look at the Audi how it drives, you have to brake a little bit earlier. So I think we can compensate that in the braking zone with the Hondas.
Okay.
I don't have a clue about the Veloster though.
No, it seems to be like the middle car this season.
have
Although
to be
you look
what
at the
you-
way
yeah.
that Spencer drives it, you wouldn't believe that, would you?
No, it's the middle car, and it's the car which is suitable for every track.
Mhm.
Where the Honda kind of still feels a little bit more leaning towards like a branch hat. You know, like a little bit tidy, twisty one, with curbs where you can throw on it. The Elantra is still the base car. It's still really fluent, and I think that the difference is the Veloster is a little bit the more edgy version of the Elantra.
Right.
And where the Audi is still opaque to drive, I think. But yeah, that's my opinion.
Right. Okay. Don't tell Stefan it's his baby. But yeah, great to see him racing hard. He had a tough night though.
Yeah.
So, anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate your 2 third places tonight? Bottom steps of the podium, but podiums nonetheless.
I should have done that every time where I just get bottom steps of the podium instead of like ending up on 11th or something like that.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys for setting out the broadcast. Real cool to see Adam Ellen a whole season. I do want to say I hate Adam Wright. I want that on the record because he let Gary pass.
Yeah,
And that's the reason he's now on top of the field. So that's all. And I tried to bribe Adam during the race, and he didn't budge. So there's definitely not a shout out to Adam.
Right.
He's a person with a thing which I hate.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't indulge in those things. To the other drivers turning up, had a good race with every one of them. Good talks with Steven afterwards. David for giving a fair fight at the end.
Yeah.
And congratulations on Spencer for getting the win in the 2 races twice in a row. Good results for him.
Yeah, absolutely, and well said. And we will see you next time out at Spa, thrashing it out. It'll be a miracle if you can win the championship, but you might move a bit further up.
No, I settled up for it, mate. It's
Right.
fine. I gave up after Coda. I told Gary I gave up after Coda because I made too much mistakes. I
Going to
made
win
things
anyway
serious.
next week. We've got a firm prediction from Wobbly. It's going to win next week.
Yeah, that's true. So we don't need to race, really, do we?
Two races, mate. I'm gonna win 2 races.
Win 2 races.
I got 2 races. Get the pole, and I also get the
Fastest lap.
fastest lap twice.
Twice.
And then I probably twice. Then I'm gonna end up on 3rd position in the championship.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna tell you why, because you still owe me points.
Yeah. Has he not built them in? Can Gary build them in or not?
No, because he's waiting on the official announcement that you
Oh,
have
is he?
to do it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure that happens.
Yes, 1 point extra. Let's go.
Yeah. Cool. We'll see you next time out then. Wobbly the traitor, kneecaps.
Good night.
He's flushed himself. Funny. Right, we just got one more. One more. Waiting in the booth. I don't even know whether he's waiting for an interview, but we shall invite in David Johansson. Good evening.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. Did you
Well,
expect?
thank
to
you
be so...
tonight, David. That was
Yeah.
we enjoyed your drive tonight.
Yeah, I had to save a bit of fuel there in the last laps. That's why I couldn't really keep the position.
Right. Okay.
Happened
Well,
mostly.
yeah, we saw you had blistering pace in both races.
It was okay.
And you know, pretty good race results given the field that's around you. I mean, to finish 4th in this company that's fantastic. I know you finished higher in previous races, but round Oulton Park, it's a tight, twisty, technical track, and you're wrestling that Elantra around against Hondas and Velosters, which are super rapid, it seems, around here.
Yep. Yeah, I almost died in the first race.
Right.
Yeah, did you catch that or did you miss that?
Was it the one at Cascades where you went super wide, or you were gonna go super wide, but somehow I don't know how you managed to catch it and pull it down?
Yeah, before the hairpin, the
Yes,
left-hander before
yeah.
the hairpin. Yeah, lap 5 or what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I catch a little bit of grass coming into it on the right side,
Mhm.
that really kind of threw the car off a little bit. So I was like sliding and getting wide, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is
Right.
death. I'm
Yeah.
gonna die here."
Well,
And then it was like
that's exactly
started,
how Matt Elmore died in that race.
yeah, and it started the rear just started sliding more, and I was like, "Oh shit, I still got a tire on the tarmac." And I was like full throttle, and it's starting to come around, and I was like, "Oh, that's too much," and I slept off. And I was like, "Perfect." I was like, "Oh man, I couldn't believe I pulled that one off."
Sorry, it wasn't
was
Matt
like-
Elmore, it was Ant Woodward, wasn't it, Alan?
Yeah.
At exactly that point, Island Bend, not Cascades.
That's
Um,
awesome. The grass tonight was very slippery, wasn't it?
It
It was
It's
lethal.
dry racing, so
Yeah,
it's
I think they
always
should have
good.
raced on the grass because it was faster than the tarmac. But you were on camera probably more than anybody else because you had
I
action
saw that.
around you all the time. It's fantastic watching you race. Spa is our next destination. Do you like Spa? Some people really don't. I'm a bit 50-50 on it these
Yeah.
days. I think now that the off tracks are a bit more manageable.
Never done, yeah, yeah. Since they changed that, it's
Yeah.
a much better track. But I have no experience. Yeah, I did one. I think it was like my first TCR race, an official race, like 2 years ago. I did there, but then I was like, "Oh, this was a shitty race.
Yeah.
People are crashing into everybody," and I was
Yeah.
like, "I'm not gonna race these cars anymore." Kind of like, and then I didn't race anything kind of until like December last year.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah, so
the
I
top.
don't have really any experience on that track
Well,
except that race.
I think if any of them haven't practiced on it, then the top of Eau Rouge or the crest after Eau Rouge is probably one of the most lethal places you can drive a front wheel drive car because the front of your car goes super light and you start drifting away to the right and get a bit of curb and you're all over the road. So I think practice is definitely called for. I can't remember which version of it is. I think it's standard GP.
Probably.
Oh, I
it's
do
gonna-
hope so.
Yeah, so
It's gonna be a completely different race compared to this one. So
oh yeah.
Oh
Couldn't
my,
get-
we
couldn't
couldn't
get
be
more
more different.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't be more different. Fantastic.
And there it depends which pit lane you end up with, doesn't it? Because there's one that takes about 1 minute 30, and
It
the one
should
that
be the
takes
GP.
1 hour 30. So
it should be the GP, otherwise
Yeah.
it's just stupid. I mean, it's not an endurance race.
yeah,
So.
yeah.
I can double check here. It's a Grand Prix pits. Yeah.
Oh, that's good then.
Thank heavens.
Yeah. Otherwise,
So this is terrible. I got lost in there once.
yeah, I know. Got asked
Yeah,
someone for an A to Z, and
it's been-
Satnav didn't know where you were.
There's been some interesting incidents happening in the Spa 24 hour in that, like, the hairpin, and like, that's turn one.
Oh, right, yeah.
People are flipping the cars and all that.
At La
stupid
Source,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, the hell are they doing?
But brilliant nights racing, very entertaining. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go?
I don't know. Just everybody here. Just a question to you. Do you think I practiced the pit stop this time?
It looked like you did. Another
I didn't.
You didn't? Oh my god, what
Nope.
are you going to learn? I mean, even Sam Blease got caught out with a 40-second smash penalty.
Yeah, but I watched the times, and compared to
Right.
Spencer, I think it was like 0.3 seconds slower in total in the
Wow.
stop. So it was all right.
All right, just don't bother practicing then, just wing it every time.
Yeah.
In that case, we will see you at Spa next time out, 1 week from today. David Johansen.
Thank you. See ya.
Thank you.
Well, what a night's racing, Alan.
Oh, mate.
Good
Oh,
grief.
yeah.
They seem to get better and better. I don't know what your thoughts are, but
Oh,
um,
I don't know if it's just the tracks we've been getting that have been, of course, so much. Coda was a bit.
it's the only one that's been a bit of a yawn.
It's the only one. The rest
Yeah.
of them have been just a great combination of this car on these different tracks. About just, and then of course the quality of the drivers. We've just been regaled with the feast of amazing driving and racing.
It's been great.
Yeah, well, the more they do it together like this at this kind of intensity, the more they will, and the more we'll get to watch and see it. Because I think it's a bit special actually.
Yeah, I mean,
I watch a lot of racing, and you don't see that much that's as close as this with as little incident.
No,
You
they
know,
are.
you see close racing, but there's a lot more incident in the close racing. These guys care and they take care of each other. I think it's a really admirable thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a community, and hopefully it'll last for a great deal longer. We're not far from launching season 13 of this, and next week's the last race week of season 12, so not to be missed by anybody. We've got the horrible job again of nominating the person who tantalised our entertainment triggers the most. So, have you got any thoughts?
Well, I'm hoping you're going to do the other one because I want to give it to Spencer.
Okay. So, yeah. All right. So, a vote for Spencer. Let's go and do that. I mean, you can't really ignore
It's hard
double
tonight, to be
victories.
honest. Yes, but two wins, and in a place that's so hard to overtake, he does. So
I've just clicked the wrong buttons. Bear with me. I'm going to do this before I go through my voting. I need to go to there. I need to go to there. I need to find that. Click that. And
so many fine performances tonight, though. Really.
Oh yeah. So
I think everybody deserves a little pat on the back.
Gary Craig.
It's a real treat.
Yeah, Gary Craig's done very well. He's got a second place and a fourth place. Kept it nice and clean. Proved that keeping it clean for this amount of time in a season gets you to the top of the table. That's very standing out. Wobbly's done very well getting 2 podiums, albeit thirds, compared to Spencer's firsts. David Hansen's done very well, very competitive. Stephen Walker, second and a fifth. Adam showed good teamwork and a lot of pace, it has to be said.
And a bit of character, giving pace back, wasn't it? Didn't
Yeah,
Adam give
yeah.
the pace back?
He
That
did.
was
Oh yeah,
decent.
actually, yeah, quite like that as a driver of the meeting sort of setup. Who else further down? Fiona's done very well, finishing ahead of 4 races in both races. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and finishing nicely. Well done, Fee.
Yeah, good effort. I think I'm gonna do the Adam vote because I think the sportsmanship, the teamwork, his overall pace. I'll sort his paint out, or he can sort his paint out for next time because it's just off the download. But yeah, my point has gone to Adam Wright tonight because
well deserved. I think
good features in that one. I think well done to him. Right,
we've had a feast, and
we have.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's been great.
we're going to get treated to something completely different next week. In that this series goes to Spa. Next weekend is V8s again. But this is the one that's going to feature most prominently in our calendars for the not too distant future. All to be resolved at Spa, and see if Gary can wrestle that trophy, albeit a make-believe one, from the claws and clutches of Sam Blees. I'll say goodnight. I'll let Alan say goodnight, and we'll draw the broadcast to a close. So good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for driving. And thanks again to Alan for joining me in the booth. Yeah, again, it'll be a full season next week for Alan. Brilliant stuff, and thank you very much.
Most welcome, my friend. Well, that's what I'll be doing. Sitting on my settee, enjoying some superlative sim racing in good company. Well, doesn't get any better than that. Thank you very much, folks, and we'll see you next week.